Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. A couple of weeks ago, I put out a video about carbide tip turning tools, and I mentioned in that video that I'm getting a new lathe. And one or two of you actually showed some interest in that and said, hey, we'd like to see that lathe when you get it. Well, here it is, the big mean green machine. I've written down some specs because my memory, it's just not good. So what we have here is it's Essential Machinery, which means it's from Harbor Freight. This is the model number 34706. Don't bother looking it up. You can't buy it no more. More on that later. It is a 12-inch by 36-inch, which means I can turn something 36 or no 12 inches in diameter. This one has a 3/4 horsepower motor. It has a 1-inch shank, which came as a surprise to me because all of the accessories I had bought are for a 3/4 shank. Guess what Mama had to do? Buy new accessories. This one has 10 speeds. They're over here. The RPM ranges from 600 to 2400 RPM. And, oddly enough, you can rotate the entire headstock so that it's facing out this, so your truck's facing out this way. I guess if you want to turn a 4-foot bowl or something, you could do that. I don't know. It seems a little bit janky to me. It seems a little scary. I'm not going to do that. Harbor Freight used to sell this model. I'm going to say that they sold it throughout the 2000s. I don't know exactly when they started selling it. I know that I looked at this model on their website about a year ago, and it was listed as a discontinued item then. At the time, you could still buy one if they had a few left and they would ship it to you. It's not on there at all anymore, so you can't get it anymore. They no longer sell this item. Now, I will not say that this is the same as the Grizzly G5979 lathe. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that it's the same. The reason I'm not going to say that it's the same is because if you tell someone that your $400 tool is exactly the same as their $4,000 tool, they get a little twitchy about that. They don't like to hear that. So I'm not going to say that it's the same. I'm going to say that it's incredibly similar. Maybe we'll just leave it at that. If you got a Grizzly of that model number, it's the same. It's not the same. Actually, I was doing some research. The Grizzly actually has a 1/2 horsepower motor, whereas this has a 3/4 horsepower motor. Listen, I grew up in the automotive world. Horsepower is great, but it's more about torque. Okay, so that's what I got. I paid $225 for this used. The previous owner got it from a friend of his who was a turner. And he did a lot of turning. In fact, down here, there's finish and stuff that he just dripped everywhere. And I got to clean that. That drives me crazy. I can't, I'm a little bit weird about that. I don't want all that just laying there. Anyway, the previous owner went ahead and just put a shelf down there. And that's cool because that was the first thing I was going to do when I got it, and I don't have to. So that was nice. I will tell you, for a rookie wood turner, this machine's awesome. It really is. Just to have the ability to change the speed without having to stop, move the belt, turn it back on, doing all of that. Maybe it's just me, but I tend to get into a rhythm. I won't say comfortable or complacent, but I get into a rhythm where things start to feel like they're working the way they're supposed to. And once I'm in that rhythm, I don't want to have to stop to change a belt. It breaks all of the momentum. So for a rookie wood turner, this thing is awesome. If you're watching this and you're thinking about, maybe I'd like to get a lathe, these things are cheap on Facebook Marketplace right now. He originally had it listed for $250. He knocked 25 bucks off of it just because the guy's super nice. I'd have paid him $250 for it, to be honest with you. I will go ahead and bring you in. We'll take a little bit closer look at some of the things here and what's going on with it. And then I ain't turning nothing today. I'm just telling you about my new lathe. So one of the complaints that I read about in the reviews, because I read reviews of everything, one of the complaints that I heard was how cheap the stand was built, how lightweight it was. It's not a thick steel. It's tin. Okay, let's call it what it is. It's tin, and even this one actually, this leg, it had a broken leg on it when I got it. I didn't know that when I bought it. Found out when I picked it up 2 hours away. That's okay. This leg was actually bent under, and so I went ahead and straightened that out. It's close, and so I solved the problem of the flimsy legs with some scrap oak that was never, it was destined for the burn pile. So I took some scrap oak, I have it in the corner, and I have it screwed from both sides. All four of the legs are like this now. This thing is like a rock. They're not going to bend. Okay. This particular one, I don't know if they came like this or not. This particular one has casters on it. I'm not sure how excited I am about that. I can tell you that the locks on the casters don't work. That's exciting. You know, it shows itself when you really don't want it to. So I'm probably going to take the casters off just to leave this sit flat on the floor, because at the moment anyway, this doesn't really vibrate that much as it is. But if I can eliminate any chance of vibration, I guess that would be better. So yeah, other than that, once you solid up them legs, it's a pretty stout stand that it comes with. So this is still a belt drive machine. The motor is placed behind it. There's no such, not that I know of anyway, a direct drive lathe, although I haven't really looked. But the way it achieves its change in speed is through this pulley back here. As you change the speed, that pulley will open or close. I'll show you here. It's currently set at its slowest speed. Just watch that pulley. It's got 10 presets, so I can't really go in between a speed, but that's okay. They have it broken down enough for me anyway. So one of the complaints I had, I'm sorry, I probably, you can't even see my face because I'm right under the light. I'm telling ghost stories now. It was a cold, dark. Anyway, one of the complaints I had about uh, my other lathe, among other things, was moving the tool rest. What? Excuse me. Moving the tool rest was a nightmare. It was on a shaft as opposed to being in a slot, I guess. This one moves really easily. Stop with the squeaking. Um, and it's a quarter turn to tighten it. Makes life so much. And it's quarter. No, it's not a quarter turn either way. But it's a quarter turn to tighten it, and that makes my life so much easier. The tailstock is the same way. It's super easy to turn. Sure, and slide. It's very, very simple. One of the things I noticed in my very limited turning that I did is the tool rest. This one needs a little bit of attention. I noticed on the last bowl I was turning that there's some nicks on this tool rest, and so when you're sliding across, it catches them. Now, for me, that's a nightmare because it stops and it jolts it and it makes it, and I don't, any chance I have to avoid a kick, a catch, I'm going to do that. Kickbacks table saw catches on the lathe. So I'm probably, and listen, if you, I know there's a couple guys that reached out to me. If you have a better idea, please tell me. I think I'm just going to take a file and run it across this lightly just to clean this up and get a smooth edge. But again, if you're experienced turner and you have a better idea of how to, I don't want to take a grinder to it. That much I know. Just a file and a couple of light passes just to clean it up. Let me know if that's the way to do it or not, because I don't know. But that's basically it in a nutshell. I have some accessories that I got for it. I had to get a new faceplate. Because again, the other one was 3/4. This is 1 inch, and the wife went ahead and got me the 2 inch and the 4 inch because she wants bigger bowls now that I can turn bigger bowls. So there's that. And you heard me struggle with that other one, that the lighting, even directly under this light, the lighting still isn't all that great. And so my wife shelled out far more money than what this light's actually worth, to get me a light so I can see inside of what I'm turning. I say it's far more expensive than what it's worth. It's a $50 or $60 light, which to me seems outrageous. You know, it's LED. I guess maybe that's why. But that helps a lot because now I got light right on the project. But anyway, guys, that's the lathe. This is the one I was talking about. I'm really happy I got it. It has already made a big difference in what I'm using it for. And if you guys want to see some content with the lathe, I mean, I might sneak it in anyway because a project's a project. I have out in my front yard, long before I moved here, they cut down a giant tree. And I won't say it's a cookie because it's not. It's cut, whoever cut it down was cross-eyed, I think. Anyway, there's about a 4 or 5 inch chuck, a half a slab. And I can get quite a few bowl blanks out of that, I think, as long as the wood's not rotten and junky. I do have 5 or 6 good bowl blanks up there, but I want to do some spindle projects too. You know, candle holders and things of that nature. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know. Listen, I'm not a professional, okay? I've been turning for 2 weeks. So it's not going to be a how-to. It's going to be, hey, this is how I do it, and then you watch it and tell me all the things I did wrong. Because any help is going to be a big help. But I just want to go ahead and show this off because as woodworkers, that's what we do. If we get a new tool, we want to tell people about it. This is my new lathe. Thanks for asking about it. New to me, and it's just fine. So folks, I'm going to say thanks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next one.